Namaste, fam, wherever you're at, whatever time of day or night that it is. I'm so happy that you are joining me for for some yoga, for some movement. So these videos are particularly made for She members. And if you're curious what She is all about, there will be a link in the bio or the description somewhere. So my good friend Coach JD is a fitness coach, and she owns She, and it's going to be a gym app. So whether you go to the gym actively or if you want to work out at home, this app is going to be perfect to get your workouts in and then be able to get that repair and recovery time with yoga. So the style that I'm teaching in this video is going to be yin or close to yin, where we're really moving past the muscles, getting into the connective tissue, to the joints, the tendons, and the ligaments. So I always like to make sure I have a bolster or a pillow close by, as well as a blanket, which I'm sitting on. Just some props to add some extra comfort or assistance if we need to. So if you are choosing to move with me, whether you are this is your first time doing yoga, or if you're a longtime practitioner, I always want to go over a quick disclosure that if you're choosing to move with me or use this video as a guide, you are moving at your own risk, meaning you are liable for yourself. Nobody else is liable for you. So making sure that you're staying safe in the body. And how do you do that? There's two things I like to talk about: pain versus discomfort. If you're feeling any type of pain or pinching throughout this video, gently back out of the pose and wait until it's safe to join again. If you're feeling uncomfortable or discomfort, you might and are probably in the right place. And this is where you will learn about a beautiful tool that you have everywhere you go, which is your breath, to be able to breathe through that discomfort until you make it to the other side. And you will notice, if you stick with this and continue practicing yoga, how these tools and skills will show up in your everyday life. There is no avoiding uncomfortable situations throughout life. Unfortunately or fortunately, that is the experience of life. So you'll notice how these tools will show up, whether you're stuck in traffic, not feeling too comfortable at the grocery store or in crowds, if you're having a uncomfortable conversation, whatever it may be, you'll notice how these tools automatically show up for you and how you're able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. All right, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and start moving and breathing. So for today's session, go ahead and find yourself on a seated position on the ground. Legs can be in any variation. You don't necessarily need to be matching what I'm doing. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. These videos are going to be non-edited. You get the genuine, authentic, raw me. So let's keep going. Legs can be in an open, wide cross. You can have your feet together, knees out nice and wide, just whatever is going to be comfortable for you as we settle in. As you're finding yourself in your seat, just pressing your seat, your glutes against the floor, lifting up and extending through the torso, reaching the crown of your head up towards the sky as you relax the shoulders away from your ears. Hands are going to be resting in your lap, elbows nice and close to the body, just helping the shoulders relax. Feel safe to close off your eyes and to tune into my voice. Just finding your breath as it comes in through the nose. Following the breath as it leaves the body without changing the style or the duration, just noticing your breath. And if this is the first time that you're thinking about your breath today, taking a moment to be thankful and grateful for your breath for returning back to you. And at this time, taking the opportunity to release any worries, stresses, letting go of any to-do list or plans, taking a few cleansing breaths. Take a nice, deep, full inhale through the nose, filling up the lungs and the belly with air. Release that breath with an open mouth exhale. Sigh it out. Empty out all the way. Nice, full inhale through the nose. Taking that open mouth exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Last one, or as many as you need. Deep inhale through the nose. Pausing once you get to the top and sipping in a little bit more air. Take that open mouth exhale, just let it go. Feel your lips. Begin to breathe in and out of the nose. Extending your breath a little bit longer than your natural breath, and keeping this style of breath throughout the rest of your class, in through the nose, out through the nose. Filtering the breath through the nose is going to calm your nervous system. Direct your energy to run up and down your main energy channel, your main nadi, which is up and down the spine. Just staying connected with the flow of your breath, nice and slow in, steady and controlled out, making sure that your inhales and exhales are the same length. Just tuning into the sounds you hear around you, no judgments. Listening and tuning into the loudest sound that you hear, without getting attached to the sounds, tuning into the quietest sound or the furthest sound that you hear. Again, no judgments, just the act of listening. Just following your breath as you settle in your space. This is a great tool for allowing yourself to be present in the moment. As you're settling in your space, setting an intention for your class, for your day or night. An intention can be a word or a phrase. It's something to bring your focus on, bring your awareness to. Be a mantra or an affirmation. Just see if anything naturally arises for you. No expectations, no digging or searching. Just see if anything naturally pops up. And if nothing is coming up, that's okay. I invite you to use this intention for this class. I accept. Few simple words with a lot of depth. I accept. Last couple full rounds of breath, settling in. I accept. Your next inhale, lift those shoulders up towards the ears, giving an intentional squeeze here on the bottleneck area. As you exhale, roll the shoulders down the front of the chest, guiding them towards the bottom. Pulling the shoulders up your back as you open through the front of the chest until the shoulders pass by the ears once more. 2 more shoulder circles in this direction. Keeping the breaths deep, slow, and controlled. Finishing up that last full round as you're coming back up, taking a nice deep inhale, shoulders are back up by the ears. Give that intentional squeeze. As you exhale, roll the shoulders down the back this time, taking them towards the bottom and then guiding the shoulders up the front of the chest, opening up the backside. Shoulders pass by your ears once more. 2 more shoulder circles in this direction. Moving nice and slow. And continuously sitting up tall as you move your shoulders. Next inhale, bring those shoulders back up towards the ears. Give a nice good squeeze. Add that pressure in the neck, in the shoulder area. As you exhale, relax the shoulders down the back in their natural sockets. Opening up through the chest, shoulders are pulled back slightly, letting that heart shine through. Take a nice, good, deep inhale here, lengthening back up through the torso. Now, as you exhale, gently lower the chin down towards the chest, opening up the back side of the neck, not forcing yourself to going anywhere the body isn't ready. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, begin to drift the head over towards the left-hand side. Left ear passes left shoulder. Head rolls along your upper back, opening up the front side of the throat, front side of the neck. As your opposite ear passes opposite shoulder. Chin is guiding towards the chest once more. 2 more circles in this direction. Staying connected to your deep breaths. Keeping the shoulders relaxed as you move. And accepting any cracks or pops that you may feel or hear along the way, just knowing you're getting some stagnant energy out of the way. No rush. Finishing up that last head circle. Once the chin is connected towards the chest, pausing for just a moment before you take those head circles in the opposite direction. 3 on this side. Opening up all angles, all corners of the throat and the neck. And as my foot is currently falling asleep, just taking note, switch out your legs at any time if they're feeling uncomfortable. Just remembering this is your practice. There is a discipline that comes with yoga, but at the same time, honoring your body for what it needs. Finishing up that last head circle, chin comes down towards the chest. As you inhale, lift that head back up through center. I'm going to switch my legs out. Good. On your next inhale, sweep those arms up overhead, reaching up nice and tall. Gaze follows the hand. As you exhale, twist over towards the left-hand side. Left hand is going to come to the side of you or back behind you. As that right hand rests on that leg, gently guiding you in the twist. Keeping a nice tall spine. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. If it's safe in the neck, take your gaze back behind you, over across that left shoulder. Notice the restriction you might feel within your breath, within the lungs. Keep those breaths deep, slow, and control. Getting the lungs healthy, building some strength in the lungs, and giving a nice massage in the heart, snuggied up in the lungs. Just a couple more full rounds of breath left. I invite you to sit up tall, lengthen up through the torso on your inhale. As you exhale, see if you're able to get into the twist just a sliver more. Finishing up your exhale, exhale fully. As your inhale returns, unravel the twist, come back through center, sweeping the arms up nice and tall overhead. And as you exhale, taking that twist over towards the opposite side. Right hand comes beside you or behind you. As that left hand rests on the leg, gently guiding you into the twist once more. Remember, it's not about how far you can get into the twist, just what you feel and where you land. Same thing goes, sitting up nice and tall, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And if it's safe in your neck and your gaze, take that gaze across back behind you, past that right shoulder. couple rounds left. Nice deep inhale, lengthen up through the torso, sitting up tall. And as you exhale, just see if you're able to get into the twist just a sliver more. Good. As your next inhale returns, come back through center. Sweep those arms up overhead, reaching up nice and tall. And as you exhale, relaxing the hands back down along the side of you. I should have mentioned this before. If I'm going to turn that to the side so you can see me a little bit better. If you notice that you're not able to have a nice tall spine like this, that's okay. We're all different. We're all coming here at the same place, but from different experiences. So no judgments. If you find that your back is pulling back and your tailbone is kind of tucking under, and it's hard to get the shoulders stacked above the hips, nice tall spine, that's okay. Bring your pillow, bolster, or even fold your blanket up so you've got a little bit of height here. Pull that underneath your hips so that your hips are just a little bit higher than your knees. See if that makes a difference for you. See if that helps out. And as always, you can try something out. If it doesn't feel as right or as comfortable, come back into any position that you'd like as long as it's safe for the body. All right, moving my blanket out of the way, extend those legs out in front of you. Take some gentle taps with the backs of the knees. Windshield wiper your feet side to side, nice and slow, just allowing that rotation all the way up here in the hips. Good, keeping the legs out nice and long. Here's another option for you. You can keep the legs straight as they are, or you can always offer sliding a blanket or a pillow under the knees, just offering a soft bend for the knees. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my posture and my back. Pull that flesh out from back behind you, just allowing the pelvic bowl to sit nice and neutral. Excuse me, coming into our caterpillar pose, sitting up nice and tall, just hinging at the hips, almost as if you're trying to pull your belly forward towards your feet. Coming in this with a nice flat back, move forward until you can't go anymore. Maybe you already feel that targeted stretch in the back of the legs. I know I do. And you can decide, you can stay here just leaning into this, or you can begin to round the spine by drawing your heart forward and then down, readjusting the grips of your hands on maybe your calves, maybe your ankles, maybe your feet, wherever your landing place is. Most importantly is keeping that round out of the lower back, pushing the belly forward. That way we get that targeted stretch back behind the legs. Your gaze is going to be right in between your knees or your calves, just keeping a neutral spine for the top of the neck. Find your breath once more. You've got that restriction and added pressure in the organs and in the lungs. Keep those breaths deep, slow, full, and controlled, even on both sides. And as you're hinging and folding forward, just relaxing through the ankles, relaxing through the calves and the shins, unclenching the kneecaps and softening all the way up into the quads and the hamstrings. Relaxing through the shoulders. If you find yourself hunching and rounding over, you might be going a little bit too far. Bring those shoulders back. Readjust yourself and just relaxing through the arms. In yin, we're really targeting the lower extremities, doing our best to stay relaxed in the upper body. I'll always give options for you to activate some specific areas of the body, but for this pose, we're going to stay nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Just a few more breaths. Every inhale, send it to those tender, tight places. As you exhale, slowly and fully soften in those areas. See where you're able to relax and let go. Your next inhale, begin to walk the hands back up the legs, sitting up nice and tall, avoiding direct pressure on the knees. Once you find yourself in that tall seat, slide any props out of the way if you took that option. Take some gentle taps with the backs of the knees once more. Windshield wiper those feet side to side. Very nice. Making your way into butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. Allow the knees to open up nice and wide. Once again, pull that flesh out from back behind your behind if you need to. And this is where you get to gauge how close you want your feet towards you or how far that you want your feet towards you. I always want to invite you and remind you that if you come into a pose or get yourself into a fold, it doesn't feel as comfortable, always feel safe to back out, make any adjustments until you find what's right for you. So hands can be gently relaxed on the shins or the ankles. We're going to come back in this the same way, sitting up nice and tall, just hinging at the hips, just leaning the torso forward. Same thing goes, you can stay here or begin to round the spine, draw that heart forward and then down, maybe readjusting the grips of your hands, maybe on your ankles or softly on the tops of your feet. You can always rest your arms right underneath you, just allowing gravity to take over, pulling your chest forward to the ground as the knees open up nice and wide. Same thing, gaze is going to be right underneath you. Find your breath, find your inhale, send it to those tender tight places. Soften, let go, release as you exhale fully. Control the breath. Let the thoughts slip away. Get some love from your puppy dogs or cats, whatever animals you have, or children. I won't exclude anyone. Okay, thank you, guy. I'm just noticing where your mind is at, where are your thoughts at, not getting attached to anything, not letting the thoughts get carried away, slowly coming back to your breath. You have just a few more rounds here. Using your breath to get through the pose as you soften the thoughts, maybe melting closer towards the earth. On your next inhale, begin to lift up and rise, walking the hands in close to the body as you lift up nice and tall. Place your hands on the outer edges of your knees. Gently guide the knees in towards each other as you step your feet out a little bit wider than hips with distance. Shift your hands back behind you, allowing the weight to come into the hands nice and gently. Slowly let the knees drift over towards the left-hand side as that right hip lifts up. You have rotation in the hips and the knees. So being mindful as you move, bring those knees back through center, taking them towards the opposite side, letting that left hip lift up. Good. You can take as many windshield wipers as you like. Together, we'll take one more full round. Take those knees to the opposite side, allowing whatever cracks and pops you may feel or hear. Finishing it up over towards that right-hand side. Good. Bring those knees back through center. Shift the weight back up into your seat. And we're going to make our way into a tabletop position. You can swing your legs out and around behind you, lifting up onto your hands and knees. Stacking your wrists right underneath the shoulders. Knees are going to be right underneath the hips. Fingers are spread out nice and wide. Your peace fingers are going to be pointing directly in front of you. As you inhale, make your way into your cow pose. Tailbone lifts, chest rises, gaze comes forward. Roll the shoulders away from the ears as you open up the front side of the body. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, press the earth away with your hands as you take your gaze underneath you to your belly button. Good. As you inhale, make your way back into your cow pose. Tailbone is lifting, chest is rising, opening up the front side of the spine, Vidalasana. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round and dome the spine, opening up the front side or the back side of the back as you take your gaze underneath you, Marjasana. Last round together as you inhale, come back into your cow pose, tailbone lifts, chest rises. And as you exhale, tuck that tailbone round the spine, opening up the back side, taking your gaze underneath you. Good. Making your way into a neutral tabletop here. We're going to thread the needle. So keep the left hand grounded and rooted on your mat. As you inhale, right hand lifts up towards the sky. As you exhale, thread that needle. Right hand comes sliding all the way underneath the left armpit until you've landed on that right shoulder, right side of your face. Letting gravity take over here, pressing the chest and your face in towards the ground as the tailbone becomes light. If you're comfortable here, stay here. If you're not too comfortable, I'm going to give you an option here. Bring your pillow underneath you so it is underneath your entire torso. You're essentially taking the same movement, but landing your right shoulder and right side of the face on your pillow or on your bolster, just helping bridge the gap between you. Just checking in to see what's right for you. That left hand can stay as is, or you can reach the left hand up towards the top of your mat for an extra shoulder stretch. If you want to keep it passive, wrap that left hand around your lower back, just protecting the shoulder. See what feels right for you. Just a few breaths. Continue to follow them in and follow them out. Preparing to make our way back out. Bring that left hand in front of the face or close to. Grounding and rooting through that left hand. As you inhale, unthread the needle. Right hand comes sliding out, floating up towards the sky. And as you exhale, relax that right hand down to the mat, stacking that wrist right underneath the shoulder. Taking this on to the other side. As you inhale, left hand lifts up towards the sky. As you exhale, thread the needle on this side. Left hand comes sliding all the way underneath until you've landed on that left shoulder, left side of the face. Let your chest become heavy as your tail becomes light. Same thing goes with that right hand. You can keep it as is. You can extend it towards the top of your mat for a stretch or wrap it around your lower back. Try any option or variation and see what's right for you. And just allowing gravity to take over here. Follow your breath slowly in through the nose, over the crown of the head, up to the tailbone. And as you exhale, following the breath from the tailbone, all the way down, back out the nose. Just a couple full rounds left. And to make your way out, bring that right hand back in front of the face or close to. Ground and root through that hand as you inhale. Unthread the needle. Left hand comes sliding out. And as you exhale, Left hand rests back onto the ground. Realign your hands. Make sure that the wrists are stacked right underneath the shoulders. Take one full round of a cow and a cat at your own pace, just matching the movement with your breath. Meeting back in a neutral spine, neutral tabletop. Good. Coming in for a mini back bend, keeping the hips, knees just as they are. As always, if the knees are too uncomfortable, slide your blanket, bring the blanket underneath the knees. If everything is ready to go, begin to walk the hands out and away from the body. As you lower your chest down to your mat, resting your forehead onto the ground. Same thing as your threading of the needle. If you need to bridge the gap, bring your pillow underneath the torso, bringing your forehead or your chin to your pillow or the ground. If the shoulders are too tight like this, you can always open up the hands to a more open V, just relieving some pressure and tension on the shoulders. And just as like our last pose, just letting gravity take over, feeling the chest become heavy as the tail becomes light, feeling your forehead pressing into the ground. You're in a nice heart opener here. You've got the chest open, heart is shining through. Taking a moment as your heart is parallel to the earth below to send some love and gratitude down into the earth. Taking a moment to be grateful for the earth, always holding us up, always supporting us no matter where we're at in life. We're always being held. If this feels comfortable, you can rock the forehead left and right, just getting a nice massage for the third eye or for the forehead. Leaving you here in silence for the next few rounds of breath, following the breath in, following the breath out. More kisses from the puppy. All right, go on. Thank you. Release the belly muscles for this next last round of breath. As you exhale, exhale all the way. When you're ready for your inhale, begin to lift the chest up. Walk the hands back in towards you, stacking them back underneath the shoulders. You have two options here. You can come into a regular wide knee child's pose. So the cue for that, bring the big toes together, take the knees out wide as you lower the hips down over the heels. If you want to come into yin style child's pose, keep the knees together, feet together, coming on an angle once more, and then gently lower the hips over the heels as you rest the belly on top of the legs, connecting your forehead down to your mat or the top of your head. You can walk the hands out and away from you in either variation. Or if you'd like to keep it passive, tuck the hands back by the feet, relax through the elbows, become heavy in the shoulders, and just letting your entire torso melt over your legs. Notice how you're in a tiny little ball. Keep those breaths deep, really feeling the added pressure in the lungs, in the organ region. We're doing a lot of good work on the inside of the body as well as the out. Just a few more full rounds of breath left here. Send every inhale to your lower back. Nice and slow, controlled exhale. Preparing to make our way out, begin to place your hands wherever they're at, bringing them underneath the shoulders. Press and pull yourself up, back up into a tabletop position. If you need to take a full round of a cow and a cat, same thing goes, just matching the movement with your breath. And when you feel ready, either lowering to the left side or the right side, coming back into a seated position, swing your legs out in front of you and scoot up towards the top of your mat. Make sure that you have your props close by within arm's reach distance, just in case you need them. We're going to make our way onto our backs. Grab the backs of your thighs, gently roll back one vertebrae at a time until you feel your entire back and the back of your head on your mat. Pull those knees right in towards your chest, softly gripping your shins or right underneath the knees and just taking a couple rocks left and right. Massaging out the sacrum, getting a nice self-massage in for the lower back. When you feel ready, come into stillness. Keep that right leg in close to the body as you return that left foot down to the mat, keeping the left knee bent. As you inhale, extend that right leg up towards the sky, taking your grip along the back side of that leg. Just taking a moment to allow the blood to come down into the opposite direction here with this lifted leg. Tuck your chin in slightly without cutting off your airway, just creating some more space in the back of your neck. You can stay here in stillness with that right leg, or you can begin to take some movement, some circles with that ankle in one direction, switching whenever it feels right for you. Pointing and flexing that foot a few times if that feels good. You can even bend and straighten through that right knee. Take any options or none of the options. This is your practice, just honoring what you need. In your next inhale, extend that right leg up towards the sky. Release the grip of your hands. As you exhale, bend the right knee. Take the outer edge of that right foot, placing it on top of the left thigh, coming into your figure 4 position. Giving you some layers here. You can stay here, gently pressing that right knee away, keeping all 4 corners of your back connected to the ground. If you want to go further, you can begin to draw the left knee in towards the chest as you reach your hands through, grabbing on the back side of that left thigh, coming into eye of the needle pose. Maybe your hands feel comfortable on the back side of the left thigh. Maybe you've got it in you without forcing yourself to grab onto that left shin. Just seeing where you land, where your landing place is today. No judgments, no labels. Total acceptance wherever you're at. Just enjoying the gentle movements, enjoying your breath. Gently drawing the left knee in towards the chest. You can stay here, relax through the shoulders as you gently guide the left knee in. Or you can, if you want to activate the pose, press that right elbow into the right knee. No puppy. Thank you. Press that right elbow into the right knee, pressing the right knee away as you draw the left knee in towards the chest, taking it a little bit deeper. Wherever you've landed, connect with your breath. Let the thoughts slip away as you keep your awareness on your breath, reminding yourself of your intention. I accept. Send every inhale to those tender, tight places. Soften and release with every exhale. Just a few more rounds left here. Nice, deep, full inhale. As you exhale, release the grip of your hands. Release your figure four, both feet down to your mat. Nice. Once you've landed there, pull both knees back in towards your chest. Give a couple rocks side to side before we move on towards the opposite side. When you feel ready, come into stillness. Keep the left knee in towards the chest, and as you release the right foot down to the mat. Sole of the right foot is connected to the ground below as your right knee is bent. As you inhale, extend the left leg up towards the sky, interlacing your hands along the backside of your left thigh. Going for your opposite grip this time, your more unnatural grip. Opposite fingers on top. Same thing goes. You can stay here in stillness or take some movement with the ankle, with the foot, with the knee. Just exploring this option on this side. Allowing the blood to run in the opposite direction, getting into that hip crease for a moment. And your next inhale, extend that left foot up towards the sky as you release the grip of your hands. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Take the outer edge of the left foot on top of the right thigh, coming into your figure four on the opposite side. Giving you those layers, those options. You can stay here, gently pressing the left knee away with the left hand. If you'd like to go further, begin to draw the right knee in towards the chest as you reach your hands through and grabbing onto the back side of that right thigh. Once again, going for your more unnatural grip, opposite fingers on top, coming into eye of the needle pose. Finding your landing place, your variation. You're gently guiding that right knee in towards the chest. Staying aware of your breath. Every inhale goes to those tender, tight places. Softening as you slowly exhale, exhaling fully. Giving you that last option. You can stay here nice and relaxed in the shoulders, or if you'd like to activate the pose, press your left elbow into that left knee, pressing it away as you gently guide the right knee in towards the chest. Once again, finding yourself in the whatever variation you'd like to take on this side. I'll leave you in silence for the next few rounds of breath. Continue practicing following your breath as you keep the thoughts at bay. Last full round. Nice deep inhale. Okay, Yahtzee, go on. And as you exhale, release the grip of your hands. Release both feet down to your mat. Feeling grounding, rooted in your feet. Just feeling even on both sides. Take a nice full inhale. As you exhale, pull those knees back in towards the chest. Take a couple rocks side to side if you need to before we move on. When you feel ready, come into stillness. Bump your hips over to the right by just a half of an inch as you let your knees drift off towards the left-hand side. You can always bring any of your props underneath the knees or even in between the knees. Feeling both of your shoulder blades connected to your mat. If you feel that right shoulder blades lifting up, shimmy your shoulders in the direction of your bent knees. Tee your arms out side to side, giving you all the options. You can place that left hand on top of the right leg for an anchor. If it's safe in your neck, take your gaze over towards those right fingertips, adding that extra layer of twist in. Once you've found yourself in your twist, relax through the shoulders and the neck. Keep those breaths deep, full, even on both sides, really wringing out your torso here. Soften the muscles of your face. If you do find that your mind wanders easily, acting as if you're a fly on the wall, just watching the thoughts go by, not judging the thoughts or becoming a part of the thoughts, just watching them go by like you're watching them on a movie screen. On your next exhale, exhale fully, emptying out all the way. Bring your head back through center, pulling your belly muscles as you bring your knees back through center, moving out any props out of the way. Realigning the back, taking a few rocks side to side. Getting ready for the opposite side, coming into stillness. Bump those hips over towards the left-hand side as you let the knees drift off towards the right. Coming into your supine twist on this side. Use any of the props that you like, any of the options with your arms. Right hand on top of the left leg for an anchor. Teeing your arms out to the side. If that left shoulder blade is lifting up, scoot your shoulders in the direction of your bent knees, nice and gently. And if it's safe in the neck, take your gaze over towards those left fingertips. Find your breath. Find your landing place. Just see where in the body you're able to soften and relax. Releasing the muscles of your face, softening through the neck and the shoulders, keeping the breaths deep on this side. Next, exhale. Exhaling all the way as you bring your gaze through center. Pull in those belly muscles as you draw the knees back through center. And then just taking a couple rocks side to side. Getting ready for our last pose, our resting pose, Shavasana. This is the time to let your body integrate all the movement that we've taken. So it's very important that you take this next pose. Pull your knees in towards your chest as tight as you can. If it's safe in the body, lift your head up, bringing it through your knees, pulling, squeezing, clenching every muscle, curl those toes underneath. Take a nice deep inhale here, pressing your belly against your thighs. As you exhale, release the back of your head down to your mat. Release the legs out long as your arms rest along the side of your body. Coming into Shavasana or corpse pose. Palms of your hands can be faced up or down, depending on what you feel. You can take any props if you'd like, placing a blanket, pillow, bolster underneath the knees. Taking your blanket on top of the chest. You'll be here for a few minutes. So just allowing yourself to fully be comfortable as you integrate the movements in the body. Relaxing the muscles of your forehead. Releasing the muscles around the eyes and your lips. Softening through the shoulders and the neck, feeling heavy in the arms. Feeling your backside, your torso melt to the earth below. You become heavy in the legs. Leaving you silent for the next few moments. Continue following your breath in and out. If you find your mind wanders easily, I'll let you know when it's time to move on, when it's time to come out. Without making any physical movement, just coming back to your breath. Noticing your state of mind, your state of being, no judgments, total acceptance. Gently taking some movement, wiggling your toes, brushing your thumb across all four pads of your fingers, taking some gentle movements with the wrists and the ankles, getting the blood, the life, and the energy moving back through the body. As you inhale, reaching your arms up overhead, reaching back behind you as you press your feet forward for a good morning stretch. And as you exhale, pulling in one leg in at a time, coming back into that tiny little ball, maybe giving yourself a well-deserved hug once you get there. Whenever you feel ready, drifting off to your favorite side, either the left or the right, coming into fetal position for a moment, using your bottom arm as a pillow for your head. And taking a few breaths in this pose. First pose we ever took in this lifetime. Feeling one side of the body connected, grounding, rooting to the earth below. And at the same time, you have the opposite side exposed and free to the air above. Just feeling this sense of being held, being comforted and supported. No rush, using your top hand to help gently press and lift you back up, coming back up into a seated position just as we started, easy pose Sukhasana. Bringing the palms of your hands together, connecting them right in front of your heart space. Gently bowing forward as you honor yourself, as you seal in your practice. Take a moment to send yourself a loving message or words of encouragement. Don't let your inner critic talk you out of it. Taking a moment to be grateful and proud of yourself for showing up for you today. Take another moment to send somebody, anybody in the world, a loving message or words of encouragement. And thank you so much for joining me, for trusting me to guide you through this video, through this yoga practice. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you all, wherever you're at. Hope that you're feeling well and that you enjoy your day or your night. Follow for more. Reach out for any questions or comments. I love you all.